Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another PayPal requested commentary for Nick. If anyone's ever interested in requesting any type of videos or reviews or commentaries or any other type, you can either do so by joining my Patreon or requesting them directly via my PayPal. The links to both of those will be down in the info box. But Nick, if you're watching, I hope you get better. Hope everything gets better. Wishing you the best. But let's get into it. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. We have the TriStar logo, which reminds me of the film Another You, Sally, one of Richard Pryor's worst films, but the best joke is the opening, because like, fucking Waynes, what's going on? And we got to this part, fucking white horse. But yes, Rambo 3 is the commentary for the day, which I love this film. I love all four. To me, there's only 4 Rambo movies. Carrico released a lot of successful films, but sadly, they just spent too much money. I mean, they had a lot of big hits, but again, they spent too much money. Sadly, I think one of the films they were going to work on was Isobar. I wish they would have at least gotten that made. Because maybe that could have helped their company instead of putting the money into fucking Cutthroat Island. But of course, this came out in 1988, a few years after Rambo 2. Rambo First Blood Part 2 was a big phenomenon, made a ton of money. A ton of film. And Rambo 2 is my favorite. I did a review on the channel when I did the Sylvester Stallone marathon. I reviewed pretty much all of Stallone's movies. And I'm a big fan of all the first 4. Rambo 2 is my favorite. This is my second favorite. And I think this sequel is highly underrated. I never understood the hate for this film. I never understood the crap this film got. To this day, I still don't understand it. What you want in an action film? Great set pieces of action, spectacle, the money's on the screen, a larger-than-life hero. You got C4 arrows blowing up helicopters. You got real helicopters, real tanks fighting each other. And Stallone, I always say, is his most fit in this movie. Now, whether that's enhanced, maybe, probably. But he looks the fittest ever in this movie. He's got that red bandana, so the classic Rambo look. Now, I know originally Russell Mulcahy was going to direct this. In fact, he started directing this. Russell Mulcahy, who directed Highlander and others. But him and Stallone had disagreements, and Russell Mulcahy left, got fired, however you want to put it. And then they got Peter MacDonald, who worked second unit stuff. He became the director of this. And I don't understand the hate for this film. I mean, you get to start off with a badass fight scene with the sticks. And this is the film that gets parodied the most in Hot Shots 2 or Hot Shots Part 2, because I mean those kind of parodies reference a lot of movies, but this one especially they parodied. And I love Hot Shots Part 2. It's one of my favorite parody films, probably because I'm such a big Rambo fan, so a lot of the references were fun. And then having Richard Crenna in that movie too. But one of the things impressive about this movie is what Stallone did. A lot of it you see Stallone himself doing it. I mean, this fight, you see a lot of it is Stallone. His face is clear. I mean, he's going under tanks and being dragged by tanks. He's riding horses with Molotov cocktails, explosions, and a helicopter right behind him. For what I understand, this is around the time him and Brigitte Nielsen split. So maybe he's in that frame of mind. I just want to get my mind off this shit. Just go for it. And sadly with Stallone, even though many of his 80s films I love, a lot of them were not hits other than Rocky and some of the Rambos. Because even this film might have made some money overseas, but was not nearly as successful in the U.S. I mean, in 1985, the second one made 150 million in the U.S. alone. This maybe got a third of that. I don't know why. Well, other than people just did not like this film. They did not like this movie, and I don't really get it. Maybe by the time again, I guess that's why. Maybe another reason is people were slowly phasing out of the one-man army movies, and they were getting the movies like Die Hard, came out the same summer as this. These hard hits showing the rage of Rambo, just kicking his ass. Like, those are hard fucking hits. They look fucking hard hits. And the bloodlust. When you get to Rambo 4, I'm like, I don't blame him going, fuck the world. I don't blame him at all for thinking that way. Yeah, fuck the world. And yeah, I don't blame him for saying that. Not one damn bit. Fuck the world. But yeah, Rambo 3... Funny enough, I think this came out on my birthday in 1988. I want to say this came out on May 25th. So I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't get to see it because I was only 5 years old. But definitely saw this on VHS. I think the first one, First Blood, I had on the clamshell VHS tape. And Rambo 2 and 3, they might have been taped, back to back. For those who remember VHS tapes, you would have blank VHS tapes. You'd have 2 VCRs. So then you pop the blank tape in one and record it on the other, and then build up your collection of movies by renting them and taping all them, and then you could rewatch them on VHS whenever you wanted. But yeah, this movie, I mean, any nitpicks I can give the film, I don't think the score by Jerry Goldsmith, I just still deal with it. I still am fine with the score. I don't think it's as strong as the score in the first two movies. Again, I don't think it's a bad score. I don't think it's as strong as the first two films, especially the second film, which I think is Jerry Goldsmith's best score. The villain is alright, but I don't think the villain's as good as... Of the first 4 films, I would say he's the weakest villain. Although I'll deal with this villain more than anybody in fucking Rambo 5. So yeah, there's a few nitpicks I have, but I think it has a lot more worth and merit than people give credit to. I liked Rambo's little sense of humor. I don't think it's too out of character. They did not go overboard with it. It gave Rambo a little bit more personality, which I think is a good thing, but apparently people thought it was a bad thing. And yeah, I get why he's living at a monastery with all the bullshit going on in the world. Who wouldn't escape from the world? And it shows that Rambo, he's actually in a decent place. He's at this monastery, he's helping them out. Things are not going too bad. And people make fun of the hair. I wish I had that type of hair, so I'm fine with that. I like Stallone as an actor. I know I've given him shit in the past few years because I think he's better than the shit he's been doing lately. I'm sorry, when I watch Over the Top and Cobra and Lockup and Copland and Nighthawks and Cliffhanger and Demolition Man and this movie, to me the guy's better than Bull in the Head. He's better than Escape Plan. He's better than fucking Bat Trace. I keep wanting to say Skip Trace and I screw up a few times with that. Bat Trace or fucking Escape Plan 2 or 3. Of course, this is Kurtwood Smith. Of course, the year before he was in RoboCop. Which I wonder if that's how he got the role. It's like, hey, people remember him from RoboCop. I'd give him a bit role in this. Can you fly, Bobby? And people get so pissed about this whole, well, Afghanistan and that means Rambo is helping the Taliban. I'm sorry, that's ignorant shit. That's ignorant shit. Not every fucking person in Afghanistan is a fucking terrorist. Not every person in Afghanistan is a fucking horrible person. Guess what? There are times where we've been the bad guys. Ask the Native Americans. There's been time that Japanese have been the bad guys. Taught the people of Pearl Harbor. There's been times the Russians were the bad guys in this conflict. Cold War. There've been times Germans have been the bad guys. World War II. But that wasn't all Germans. It wasn't all Japanese. It wasn't all everybody. Do you hate the Japanese now because of what happened in Pearl Harbor? No. Do you hate people who are German now because of what happened? No. This is ignorant, stupid shit. That's what history is. And yet there was a time in history where the Russians, these soldiers, were going in and killing men, women, and children. But I mean, you have that thing. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Which is why I understand after why in Rambo 4 he was in the middle of fucking nowhere. Plus the story I got out of this was him wanting to save his friend. And to me, that's the heart of the story. He wants to save his friend. And that's what I like with Richard Crenna. I mentioned this before. In the first film, he's kind of this, I don't even want to say father figure, but there's this commanding officer who knew John. In the second film, they're kind of allies. And in the third one, they're friends. So I like that development. And this is definitely the closest Rambo and Trautman are, to the point that by the third act, they're fighting side by side with each other. I laugh at this scene only because it makes me think of Hot Shots Part 2, when Richard Crenna is saying this to Topper Harley about the 3 bears. Mama bear ate the porridge, and they went on their merry way. So I keep thinking of that. And someone did a funny edit where Richard Crenna is saying the dialogue from Hot Shots 2, and then it cuts to Stallone from this movie. It's on YouTube. It's a fun edit. But I like the sentiment of this conversation and the full circle. Which is why Rambo 4, one of the main reasons it worked, it went full circle. He went home. It ends like First Blood began. And then they ruined it with Rambo 5, which was a pointless, useless fucking endeavor. It was fucking stupid. Fuck Rambo 5. But people give Rambo 3 shit. To this day, I still have people going, well, you like Rambo 3, so your opinion on Rambo 5 don't matter. Your opinion on Rambo 5 is pointless. You like Rambo 3. Yeah, I like a film where Rambo is blowing up helicopters with C4 tipped explosive arrows. That looks like a fucking film. This scene alone, when he's on top of the monastery type thing, overlooking the landscape, is more scale than anything in fucking Rambo Last Blood, which looks like a fucking direct-to-video film. This looks like an actual full-blown spectacle. It looks like a film that actually belongs in a fucking movie theater. Funny enough, the other day I just watched it was a request called The Beast of War from, I think, the same year, 1988, which dealt with Russians and a tank dealing with people in Afghanistan. So kind of this similar conflict, which that was a pretty good film. That review will be coming sometime soon, sometime this month. But I actually quite liked it. It has Jason Patrick, Stephen Bauer. If you like, definitely check that film out. Now we got Blood Squibs, which I remember one idiot's like, what the fuck? He was complaining to me about a film. It was, I think, Rambo 4. I forget what review it was. He was talking about, this movie doesn't have squibs, and what the fuck is a squib? So you're saying it doesn't have it, but you don't even know what the fuck it is, but yet I'm the idiot, because the person called me an idiot. I'm like, damn, Trautman, you fucked up already? You got caught. Damn, Trautman, you got caught quick. Should have had the box from Metal Gear Solid. Snuck around quick, more stealthy. But yeah, I never will understand the hate this film gets. And this is one of those films that's like, well, you like shitty movies. You like movies like Rambo 3. Well, maybe you like shitty movies. No, that's not true. It's called different opinions and different tastes. That's what the truth of it is. Again, the budget's on the screen. The actors do their jobs well. People discount the Afghanistan, he joined the Taliban. Again, that's such stupid thinking. It's like people don't know their fucking history, or don't care to know their history. I mean, I know people want to bury it, but it's part of fucking history. You put your hand in the sand, but it's not going to do shit other than get your ass shot off. I'm used to it. Yeah, if I had a list of underrated sequels, this is up there with Predator 2. Predator 2 and this movie, I think, are the two most underrated sequels out there. I really do. The Afghanistan, it made a different feel, so it wasn't a carbon copy of the first two films, a different look. I can at least give Trevor Jared Goldsmith's score that, granted, I do think it's a step down from the first two. It's not just a carbon copy, and it's still a fairly decent score. I'll take this over any fucking music in Rambo 5. Let alone musical scores of pretty much anything of today. Once in a while there's a decent one, but not as much as back in the day. Oh, there's a build-up. There was a build-up in Rambo 2. But a lot of people hate Rambo 2 as well, so that's the thing. People, they only like First Blood and maybe Rambo Last Blood, which I don't understand that, because you look at all the reviews, people are like, oh, Rambo Last Blood is the best Rambo film since First Blood. I'm like, what? Rambo 2 and 3 are shit. They're too cheesy, and they're too silly, and they're too cheesy. I fucking hate that word cheesy, first off. Use another descriptive word. Please. I just... And I'll get into that later. But here is going to be one of his allies that he meets up that's going to help him get to where he needs to go. Were you a mercenary? There's a, were you a tourist? Lost tourist? I just slide given the death glare. I'm no tourist. Yeah, don't fuck with them. But 1988 was a great year for movies. I mean, when you look back, you got Die Hard, you got this movie, you got horror films like Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, The Dream Master, Phantasm 2, the Blob remake. I mean, I think you have Bloodsport. Didn't you have also Above the Law in 88? It's a blue light. What does it do? Turns blue. That humor works. You want to know why it works? Because it's subtle. It's subtle. It's not in your face. It's not, it's, I think it's subtle and funny. It's a blue light. What does it do? Turns blue. It's soft-spoken and subtle. That makes it funny to me. Fired a few shots. I like that little attention to detail. They have the star still from Rambo First Blood Part 2. When I don't know if that star is in the other Rambo films after this. But again, I thought that was a nice detail. They kept that star, a little bit of continuity there. That was nice. And he has the necklace that Cole Bow gave him from Rambo 2. Still has that necklace. Like Rambo 2 and 3 to me is a great double feature. And then you got real helicopters, you got this big compound, landscape. And we have our villain that's going to ask Trautman a shitload of questions for a good chunk of the movie. I mean, part of me would like to have seen a different type of bad guy other than the Russians, since we had the Russians in Rambo 2. But again, with the story that they're telling, it does kind of make sense to have that. I guess really, if you think about a good chunk of Rambo 2 is dealing with the Vietnamese, with some Russians in there. And this is strictly the Russians. I mean, if you don't... I mean, but yeah, Rambo 3, I mean... You're at the high-tech gear. By the end of this film, it becomes a full-blown fucking G.I. Joe. Just real tanks, real helicopters, real explosions. Just, you cannot get more real than real. And sadly, nowadays, when you get to the end of this film, it would all be this CGI smorgasbord of computer graphics and video game textures, and it just would not look appetizing to me. It would not look aesthetically pleasing to me, because it just looked fake and phony. Because again, you cannot get more real than real. One thing I didn't mention about Rambo 2 is that in Rambo 2, the original idea was for Stallone's character to have a sidekick, which would be this tech guy, and they wanted John Travolta. And it'd be a Stallone, John Travolta as a two-man team, which that would have been different, but I'm glad we got the movie we did. I know, I think David Morrell or someone had an idea for this film, and I can't remember exactly what it is. I know my friend Mike OCP, he read the novelization on this, and he said the novelization made the film seem really fucking boring. Like, the novelization is, the way Mike told me, OCP Communications, that really nothing fucking happened in the movie based on the novel. But that's not the case with the movie. I mean, definitely the film looks really good on Blu-ray. Nice looking film. And even though this isn't my favorite Jerry Goldsmith score, it still has a nice Goldsmith feel to it, and I just miss Jerry Goldsmith. He just did so many compositions I love. Star Trek the Motion Picture, Leviathan, Runaway, these first three Rambo films, King Solomon's Mines. He worked on Total Recall, Supergirl, a lot of stuff, and just miss Jerry Goldsmith, my favorite composer. You guys don't take any shit. And people got mad that Rambo was talking like this, but you can't please people. They get mad because Rambo has no personality. They give him a little bit of personality with, I think, some fun lines of dialogue, but they're not pushing it. They're not in your face. They're not, now wait for the laugh track. To me, they're natural. And then people still get pissed. Yeah, just don't get it. And this is a time where you have the budget to have, okay, we want some real helicopters here, and they're going to go over here, and we some, like that quick shot there where you had some real jets going by. Now it would just be some digital jets put in there, and your eye would be able to tell there's something not right. And then briefly you get taken out of the movie. I think we do come back to this cave later at one of my favorite scenes. Yep. We do get back to this cave later. Forget one of my favorite scenes when he's hunting people in the caves. I wish I looked up the info on this film. Maybe I will try. As there, and Richard Crenna, before I do that, that's another, finding out Richard Crenna would be in another film composed by Jerry Goldsmith, Leviathan, directed by the director of Rambo II, George P. Cosmatos. I wonder if he was ever asked to come back for this. But I would have thought a lot of big directors would have wanted to do a Rambo film because Rambo 2 was such a success. But who knows? I mean, they probably got Russell Mulcahy because of, hey, he did Highlander. He's an up-and-coming director. It would have been interesting to see what he would have done if he stayed with the project. I mean, I would have been intrigued to see what he would have done, if anything, camera work-wise. Because it does seem like Russell Mulcahy did some interesting stuff with the camera, whether it be in Razorback or, like I said, Highlander, even some bits in the Dolph Lundgren film Silent Trigger. But actually, let me type up a little bit about Rambo 3. I should have done this before, so bear with me a little bit. Okay. So I'm looking up the trivia here. Sylvester Stallone asked for a Gulfstream jet that cost $12 million as part of his pay, and he got one. What the fuck do you need with a jet? A $12 million jet? I mean, is that part of the $63 million budget then? With this $63 million budget, this was the most expensive film ever made at the time. And Sally did not do that well. John Rambo's horse also appeared in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade as Indiana Jones' horse. Interesting. During filming, Stallone had a close call with a spinning helicopter rotor blade. In fact, had he been struck, it would have certainly decapitated him. Stallone laughed off the near miss with the quip, "At least I would have saved a fortune on haircuts." Some footage filmed by original director Rosa Montez is present in the final cut. The scenes are the sequence in which Trautman is ambushed by the helicopter and captured. That was at the beginning of the film. Scene of Rambo sitting on the roof of the temple pondering Trautman's proposition. In the DVD commentary, it's mentioned that at the time this movie was being filmed, the Russians were in fact invading Afghanistan just as depicted in this movie. 4 weeks prior to this movie's premiere, the Russians withdrew from Afghanistan and were no longer at war with that country. The director felt that the turn of events had hurt the movie's box office returns because the idea of the Russians being the primary villains was no longer believable. At the same time, though, MacDonald was somewhat glad of the idea that the events of this movie may have helped. Well, this movie, it didn't help, but okay. Let's see. The first theatrical release to make its American pay cable premiere on Showtime in 1989, following the end of the studio's exclusive deal to debut its films on HBO. Then pretty much Rambo going, "Hey, well, if you don't help me, I'll go myself." "And you will die?" "Then I'll die." That's the thing, like, Rambo ain't afraid to die. He's gonna go there to help his friend. He don't give a shit. And he's a badass motherfucker. And he's a man of few words. He's not a chatterbox like in Rambo 5. Rambo 5, he's a fucking chatterbox. I thought this actor did a good job as Mossad. I forget this actor's name though. Pretty much he explains about what's been going on and what the Russians have been doing to their land. And I think this movie's a bit more important than people give credit to. People just label all those guys as bad guys and villains, and it brings a human face to them. And I'm sure the stuff he is describing is stuff that sadly did happen. About pregnant women being stabbed, and so that the next generation of Afghans. I just find it funny in this fucking day and age where everything's PC, PC, PC. But yet they knocked this movie for ridiculous bullshit reasons, which just makes them fucking hypocritical, in my honest opinion. I forget this actor's name, but he did a good job selling this little speech he gives to Rambo. Look at a little trivia here. According to December 1990 issue of Spy magazine, screenwriters and novelists Richard Dobbins and Evan Slauson wrote the original story treatment, titled Rambo: Holy War. Stallone and Sheldon Lettich. That's right, Sheldon Lettich had a hand in the script. Sheldon Lettich, of course, had helped Van Damme re-edit Cyborg, and would go on to direct Van Damme in films like Double Impact and I can't think of the other movie. It was a Lionheart. Let's see. David Morrell had written a version of the script for Rambo III in which Rambo and Trautman's wife, who just like him is also a military expert, go to South America to save Trautman from some dictator and his army, but his script was rejected. I remember the DVD commentary mentioning that Stallone did not like this kid. That Stallone was just annoyed by this kid. And it just made me go, well, Stallone, why do you even have a kid in the movie in the first place if that's the case? I mean, I don't think the kid was that bad. Yeah, I don't think the kid's that awful. See, one of the next projects Stallone was involved in after Rambo 3 was an adaptation of Don Pendleton's The Executioner novels. It was going to be produced by Carrico and Joel Silver and directed by William Friedkin. Sylvester Stallone and Cynthia Rothrock were going to play partners, with him being more of an unpredictable wild card, and Cynthia Rothrock's character was the one who was more calm and cool-headed. Due to William Friedkin hating the script they wanted to use and arguments between him and Stallone, he left the project soon after it was canceled. Fuck, that's too bad. Stallone and Cynthia Rothrock? I would love to have seen that one. See. In 1990, the Guinness Book of World Records said this was the most violent film, with 221 acts of violence and over 108 deaths. In the original cut, Rambo and Trautman are driving away from the freedom fighters camp. Rambo decides to not go back with Trautman home to America. Rambo decides to stay with the freedom fighters, feeling that he has finally found somewhere he belongs. Trautman understands, says goodbye to Rambo, and wishes him luck, and returns to America alone. Well, in retrospect, that would have been even weirder to certain. But I'm glad that didn't happen. Oh, we get the horseback sequence. And you see a lot of these shots, it's Stallone himself doing it, and this is not an easy thing to do. And yeah, I find it funny how all these people, they complain about, oh, there's no story, there's no build-up of anything. But when the movie does it, then people are like, they can't make up their fucking mind. You built up the people who Rambo is with, what's been going on, and now one of their rituals, which is a game that they play where they take an animal, go from point A to point B, you get some nice stunt work. The wide shot showing that it's them actually doing this themselves. I mean, think about Christopher Reeve, how he got paralyzed. And it wasn't anything as crazy as this stuff, dealing with horses, let alone later on with the explosions. And Stallone does a lot of stunt work in this. It's very impressive. Once again, I love those POV shots from the helicopter's point of view. You saw a bit of that end of Rambo 2. Just saw that here now. Such cool looking shots, and it's real. It's done for real. Just cannot get more real than fucking real, man. And this is real. Stallone really doing this? Love that Jerry Goldsmith music, man. And this is when the shit's gonna hit the fan, Sally. Damn, it's already 40-some minutes in? Wow. Look at that. That's a real helicopter right on Stallone's ass. It's just big spectacle, and this is what you want, I think, in an action movie. Practical blood squibs, real explosions. You're showcasing the bad guys, how they're willing to kill anybody, and without any pity or remorse. Again, the budget's on the screen. You get some nice POV shots from the helicopter's point of view. How awful these villains are. They're willing to kill these women, like right here. They just don't give a fuck. Back in the day when they used actual blood squibs, explosive charges that make them appear they're shot without bad CGI blood. Look, that's Stallone. It's okay, blow out this part of the building, and Stallone, you're right here. Look, a woman and her baby just got killed. For fuck's sake. Definitely letting the explosions loose on this. See, but that's the sad thing. They don't make movies like this anymore. Because why would they? A film like this gets made fun of. A film like this, people watch trailers and they're hip and they're cool apparently, and oh, this they laugh at everything. And I'm like, what the fuck are you laughing at? Look, it's Rambo running. And look, his hair, he has hair. And oh my god. What the fuck? It just, Why does it bother me? Because I would love to see more movies in this vein. But again, they will never do it because people think these are awful and terrible and cheesy and goofy, and thus we don't get movies like this anymore. Because why would they? If all these people, all they do is make fun of it and they don't go to see it, they don't support it, they're not going to make it. So you don't get real explosions. You don't get great... I love this. A big fucking gun, and literally just this take on a fucking helicopter. Love the up close, the bullets coming out, up close to Stallone's face, just so fucking satisfying. Like, just Rambo just took down a fucking helicopter. These were my comic book movies back in the day. This, Rambo 2, Death Wish 3, Commando. And I sincerely enjoy these films. Not, I enjoy them. No, I sincerely enjoy these films. And they get shit on. Again and again and again. I'm sorry. I'll take this over DC and Marvel superhero movies. And the constant barrage of superhero movies with some cartoon fucking... And I liked some of those movies. Don't get me wrong. I liked some of those Marvel and DC movies. I liked Joker. I liked Shazam. I liked Captain America films. I liked Doctor Strange. But I'll take these easily over the current state of affairs. I thought this was a really good shot. I remember a long time ago I tried to do an intro. I had this scene, but I had music from Predator. That da, 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 da. I thought it was a nice, quiet moment. Not too over the top, but just him looking at the destruction and mayhem. And yeah, I just thought it was a nice contemplative moment, so to speak. Even the guy goes, see, now you know how it's going here. Oh, believe me, he'll be giving out the death, buddy. Don't worry. Rambo will be giving out the death. This is not your war. It is now. See, a man of few words, and so that the words come out, they mean something. Which they disregarded with Rambo Last Blood. They disregarded that. Again, that's just my thought process on it. Tough, you can't fight. You won't do shit. Olivier. Does he do it for me? I thought that was a nice progression of a story where the first film, it was for himself. The second was sort of retribution for what he did in the first film, as well as to save others. And this one was more personal, to save a friend. And 4, honestly, I would look at 4 as Rambo regaining his soul. People think that's a bit too deep, but he's at a dark spot, and by the end of Rambo 4, he goes home. Rambo 5 did jack shit. Except, always going to save another friend, but it's a niece, but it's not really his niece, but he calls her his niece. You know what, I'll go watch this. At least I get why Rambo cares for Trautman, because we've seen actual history with them. Unlike Rambo 5. This niece that popped out of fucking nowhere. Oh, but you're supposed to like it because the movie told us to. No, I'll rather watch this. Oh, we got some grenades there. These fucking grenades. Goddamn tripwires. Watch it, you idiot. Although I'm wondering, with the tripwire grenades, why didn't they just go around? It looked like you could just go around or just take the grenades off. It seemed like you could kind of take the grenades off. Or if by putting the line that pulls the pin, couldn't you just cut the line? And it wouldn't pull the pins? I don't know how that grenade trap really works. I see why it works, but the guy was touching it and blew up, so couldn't you just cut it? But I don't know. Maybe it's something I don't know. Again, it's like the wires don't pull the pin, and then he was able to grab it. Again, can't he disarm it so you just go through easily? I don't know, maybe there's something else to it. And this, yeah, he has a big fucking knife in this. Like, each Rambo film, he got a bigger and bigger knife. And this one, it's a mini sword. And then in the fourth one, it pretty much was a fucking machete. I mean, they call it a knife, but it's a machete. But here it's a knife pretty much bigger than Crocodile Dundee's. That's not a knife. That's a knife. And yeah, it does build up, but when it goes and it doesn't stop, because you have the horseback sequence, then you have the whole attack on the village and Rambo blowing up a fucking helicopter. Then you have this whole bit where it's going to lead to another big action sequence where Stallone is shooting bad guys left and right, throwing knives in the people's throats, shooting rocket launchers, getting into the little tunnel, coming out of water, shooting them. Then they get out, and then he goes back to that cool ass scene where he heals himself. But the power of Grayskull. And he goes back in, and he fucking kicks more ass, and blows up more helicopters, and fucks people up in a cave, and then you have that crazy finale. Sorry, my allergies, my nose is itching. Of course, you have one guy setting up the bombs while Stallone gets further and further in. I believe he has, I want to say, an AK-47. Rambo has. Could be wrong on that. It looks like an AK-47. Yeah, get out, you fucking dog. But sneaking in this compound is kind of like when he was sneaking into the Vietnamese village in Rambo 2. But look, he actually sneaks in. See, if this was Rambo 5, he would just walked in willy-nilly. Give me my friend Trautman back. And then they like he did in fucking Rambo 5. Just walks in. Where's my niece? and he's not the fuck out. Rambo's a fucking idiot in that movie. Here, he actually uses stealth. I think this is where he goes under the actual fucking tank. Which, I mean, you try having a fucking tank run over you for you to grab it and get dragged. Yeah, coming up here. And this is actually Stallone doing this. Especially that scene there. That's an up-close shot, and you know that's not fate. I mean, those up-close shots. I mean, that shot right there. You saw Stallone's face from the side. So, and then sad to say, with all this trouble and hard work Stallone did physically. For what? I mean, it gave me a movie I love, but the film didn't do well. It maybe made some money overseas, but it was considered a disappointment, especially considered the second film, how successful that was. And really, the Rambo films had never been that successful since. Whether it be Rambo 4 or Rambo 5, I mean, they were never as big as Rambo 2. So I just really, sadly, people got tired of... The general public really are not big fans of Rambo. Honestly, if you think about it. I mean, other than Rambo First Blood Part 2, most of the other Rambo films, they didn't break the world in terms of box office. Which is... That's why when you look at action heroes, people don't mention John Rambo. Or they mention him, but they think it's cheesy. They use that word a lot. And they just laugh at it. They laugh at these movies. And I'm like, I don't get it. Maybe that's why action films fucking suck nowadays. Just a theory. Just my own weird little fucking theory. Get the fuck out of there. God damn it. Move. Get to the chopper. Oh, I just had to say it. But goddamn. Yeah, move your ass. Sorry, now I'm getting lost in the movie. I apologize. I need to stop doing that. I just enjoy a movie that I like. Now, I couldn't find much other trivia, but just sadly, there's not much making of material on this, as in the features. When they came out with the Blu-ray and DVD sets of Rambo, the features on Rambo 3, the featurette mainly talked about the actual conflict in Afghanistan, not so much about the movie itself, which pissed me off. That's why I would like I know Stallone is narrating a Rocky documentary, which... Unless it goes into the sequels in depth, I don't give a shit to see, because I like the first Rocky, but that's been taught to death. Talk about the other ones. Why can't we have a Rambo documentary that tells about all of them in depth? How about Stallone actually talk about each of his films in depth? Why not? How about this, Stallone? How about... While all this going on, once a day you talk about one film in your once a day you talk about one film in your filmography, from beginning to end. Or hell, twice a day. Twice a day. It's not like you don't have time. Nice. Yeah, knife to the neck. Great shot. Got some machine gun fun. I love the sound effects they use for the guns. The way the muzzle flashes look. They look good. Just sadly, even nowadays they'll do muzzle flashes. It just looks cheap and lazy. But these look on point, the muzzle flashes on the guns. The wide shots of the explosions, you get the whole geography. Yeah, you definitely get a big body count with Rambo. He kills a lot of motherfuckers in this movie, which I don't mind at all. You talk all... I love this. This... Yeah, fuck both of you. Blew up the little... I don't know what you call it. Catwalk thing. Just nothing, just something simply satisfying. Just having Rambo go to town, killing motherfuckers with actual blood squibs, so it looks more authentic. It's like one thing after the other, and that's the big wound, which we'll see up close later. Like, I like First Blood, but to me Rambo 2 and 3 made him an icon in action films. But people don't want to give those films credit, and they want to shit over films like this. Sorry, Rambo 3 kicks the shit out of action films of today. My opinion, of course. I wish they would make movies like this nowadays. The closest you get are the John Wick films. But you definitely did your action fill of this. You got all sorts. You got fisticuffs with the stick fight. Then later on, where he's fighting the big guy and hangs his ass and blows him up. You got gunfire. You got tank foo, arrow foo, C4 arrow foo, hunting sequences, using all sorts of machine guns, rocket launchers, which we'll see in a little bit. After this bit, he'll fire a fucking rocket launcher. I think they went all out on these action scenes, and it shows, and I appreciate that. There's the blue light, and it turns blue. And yeah, there's a kid, but at least the kid, I don't think the kid was that irritating, because he really didn't have much dialogue. He really didn't have much dialogue. And then after this, he really doesn't do anything else after this scene, which is nice. It's not the bad guy has the kid as a hostage or any of that shit. So to me, it perfectly fine with it. Now it has his bomb. Could wait for the bomb. But no. Fuck this. Gets a couple of them at least, and then the bomb gets the rest. I want to say Roger Ebert gave this a thumbs up. As in, you know, he didn't think it was great, but he's like, well, for what it is, it does his job. I could be wrong, but that's the thing. When you watch Siskel and Ebert stuff, I don't always agree with their sentiments. In fact, I disagree with a lot of their sentiments. But once in a while, Roger Ebert would surprise me. I mean, he gave The Golden Child a thumb up. He gave Leviathan a thumb up. And actually, I'm curious. I'm going to type in Roger Ebert Rambo. I'm just curious about that. 1 second. Oh wait, here's the rocket scene. Bullseye. Boom. Got their ass. Love it. Fucking fantastic, man. I mean, sadly, Roger Ebert did not like a lot of Stallone films, sad to say, but I don't know, I mean, I cannot find it now. Let's see. Okay, this isn't really a review. It's like an interview he did. Love the dialogue with Richard Crenna, just pimping up how badass Rambo is. Okay, let me hear a little bit of this. Huh, maybe it was Gene Siskel. Okay, it sounded like it was Gene Siskel that gave it a thumbs up, and not Roger Ebert. Okay. Well, that even surprised me. So it looked like it was Gene Siskel that gave it a thumbs up, not Roger Ebert. Interesting. Huh. Okay, well, I'm glad I looked it up, because now I confirmed that. Huh. Okay, then. Well, that surprised me for Roger Ebert, then. I mean, Gene Siskel. So it seemed like Gene Siskel gave Rambo 3 a thumbs up. Interesting. Okay, then. So, yeah, that's an example of Gene Siskel surprising me. Now, of course, there's a scene people make fun of. It's unrealistic. I enjoy it, and if I have a body like that, I think I could live through this too. Sure, if this was a Marvel film, they'd be like, "Yep, that could happen." Even if it was Tony Stark, Iron Man without his suit, yeah, because it's still Tony Stark, so yeah. Well, even if it's just his body and he had the same wound, yep, because it's Tony Stark. It's a Marvel movie, so yep, I can buy that. Fucking hypocritical bullshit. But I've said before, everybody's a hypocrite. Me, you, everybody. So, just there's people who know it and people who don't. But I love this sequence, because I've never seen this done before, and it looks painful and just badass. I thought the effect was really cool too. where you see like the flame go through in the wide shot. Right about here. Ooh. It actually made me go like, how the hell did they do that? Because it looks like it's actual Stallone's hip. And he's far away from the wall, and so like, how the hell did they do that? It doesn't look like this big thing over here to build up the fake. I thought that was a really cool, underrated effect. And it's bad fucking ass. And like I said, the movie just goes from one cool scene to another. We have that cool wound scene, and now he's gonna go kick some more ass in just a few minutes. But again, people want to give this movie shit for some reason. Again, please explain to me what makes this film so bad. Is the villain the greatest? No. I've said that. But I don't think he's the worst villain either. I think he's alright. Oh, the Afghanistan. I'm sorry, I would call ignorance. If you don't, it was Afghanistan, he's helping the Taliban. That's you trying to be funny. You can try to be funny all you want, but that doesn't reflect the movie and what the movie was doing, what the movie was saying. It's action-packed. It's escapism entertainment. The stunts are well done. Has plenty of action set pieces. It looks like a fucking movie, unlike, again, Rambo Last Blood, which looked like a direct-to-video fucking film, or Bullet in the Head, or Escape Plan. Stallone did good. Richard Crenna did good. Some of the people who played the Afghan rebels. This is still a pretty decent Jerry Goldsmith music. And just Rambo taking care of fucking business, man. I mean, we have... with the credits, like 28 minutes left. And you still got him rescuing Trautman, hunting people in the cave, blowing up helicopters, the insane finale. I think when it goes, it just fucking goes and it doesn't stop. Fuck you. You're a fucking pig, I just stuck you. Get the fuck out of you, little weasel. That great Jerry Goldsmith music. Like, this is like Rambo 2 music. Ooh, right in the back of the head. That's nice. They reference a little bit of the stick fighting in the beginning. They brought that back a little bit. Even do a fucking clothesline, like a wrestling move. See, this music is very reminiscent of Rambo 2. Like, this is almost the same music as Rambo 2. But I love this music, so I'm perfectly fine with it. And there's some decent camera, some nice wide shots to showcase the landscape, so we know the geography. And we're not confused by it. Oh, that motherfucker. I'll get your ass later. Da-da-da. Let's get the fuck out of here. Get your ass in gear and get in this motherfucking chopper. Goodbye. Get your ass inside. Let's get the fuck out of here tonight. Hold on to your butts. Fucking perestroika. Welcome to America, bitches. I'm just kidding. I love the little blood mist that we see from time to time. That was a nice touch. Makes it a little bit visceral in the violent parts. And lo and behold, the bad guys are not stormtroopers where they miss everything. They're hit in the helicopter and they kill that guy. They fucked up the helicopter so they can't get far. But Rambo fucks their day up. So you get some helicopter fun. So again, people complain, well, the bad guys never hit anything. They hit something here, but people don't want to give credit to that. The bad guys never hit anything. They hit this helicopter. So they gotta crash land. But again, let's not bring any of that up. The hell do I know? I know nothing. I know nothing. Hold on. I know nothing. Good practical work with the helicopter. I don't know if they use models, like a model helicopter. If there was a making of, like actual making of, to go into this stuff would have been fucking nice. Look at that explosion. You get the Stallone in frame, so it's actually him. And they really blew that shit up. You have the hero in frame, running away as the helicopter blows up behind him. So you give more of a sense of danger to your hero and your star. to both. I think this did a lot of things right that no one gives credit to. If you look at reviews on YouTube, people just shit over this movie. And I still don't get it. Am I seeing a different movie they're watching? Now I know there's a scene cut out where he actually used a sniper rifle. Because that's the weapon he's carrying in his hand. Is a sniper rifle. Well, I'm not sure. Well, yeah, it is a sniper rifle because you see the scope there. And he picks off like a couple people. Which I would not have minded, but you told us to ignore pain, didn't you? Is it working? Not really. Don't take it personally. But that was cool to see the relationship now being them as friends and fighting side by side. That's a nice development of the characters done on a physical manner. I thought that worked very well. That was cool to see, especially since sadly this is the last time Richard Crenna would be in a Rambo film. I mean, technically he's in the flashback nightmare scene in Rambo 4, but I mean, I forget what year he passed away, but still, I miss Richard Crenna. Now he's getting the bow and arrow ready. Get some fun C4 tipped explosive arrow time. I love it. I miss C4 tipped explosive arrow fun. Fuck, if you want to make Rambo 5, at least bring that shit back. But no, they didn't. This is badass. One of my favorite moments. Just blew up an entire helicopter with that. I fucking love that, man. I love that. That was fucking awesome. One of my favorite Rambo moments ever was that. It just doesn't stop. It's like, now you got this fire that almost encapsulates him. He's got to get the fuck out of there. I think this is an action-packed movie. This is what I want in an action movie. But somehow that's wrong for me to want. I get a hero I like, a badass. I get supporting characters like Richard Crenna I like. I get different kinds of action bits. Here we have the hunting, where you don't know where Rambo's at, so it makes it a bit more mysterious and pops out of nowhere like a phantom, a ghost. Unlike Rambo 5, which was bullshit. Bubba fucking bullshit. Gets his ass. Spetsnaz. Fucking Dolph Lundgren here from Red Scorpion. One of my favorite lines. Who are you? Your worst nightmare. Fucking love that. That's cool. Come on. Your worst nightmare. I think this guy he stabs with his knife. They do. Or is it bow and arrow? Nope, the knife. There you go. A little bit of the blue light. Getting some work out of those blue lights. Whoops. Oopsie fucking daisy, pal. Also, this had a great teaser. I love the teaser of Rambo 3. It's a wonderful teaser because it has the knife going across the screen and it shows images from the film on the knife. I think it's an awesome teaser, Rambo 3. One of my favorite teasers. Nice build up, shooting the arrow. Got him. Yeah, the Rambo 3 teaser is really cool. Love that. Love the angles they shoot for when Rambo shoots the arrows. They get some really nice angles with that. And they let Crenna do some stuff. Ooh, that's some nice blood there. What are friends for? And I know we're going to get another C4 arrow bit in just a sec here. You could have at least brought that back for Rambo 5. At least you could have given me something, movie. Fuck Last Blood. I can't help it. It just pisses me off. Still does. Just Stallone's track record pissed me off lately. Because you see badass stuff like this. Can't see that anymore. We're not allowed. If that's the case, Stallone, then you could have done a movie like Mandy that Nick Cage did, or another movie similar to Copland, or hell, do a monster movie, or do a trippy sci-fi LSD field movie. Like, do something really crazy. There we go. Now we got this guy here. Fun little fight here. More of a brawl, but it still works for what it's supposed to be. No, this is probably how a real fight would be. It wouldn't be poses and stuff. It'd be a knockdown, dried out wrestle match. I'll strangle your ass, pal. Good sound effects too. You just can't quite get the shot, Trautman. Oh, not the bear hug of death. This is why you should not have grenades on your vest. Now, I doubt Stallone did this kick, but it's a cool kick, and I'm sure it's a double, but they did some nice doubling where I can't tell that it wasn't Stallone. But yeah, I doubt he did that kick because I've never seen Stallone do kicks like that, but again, I thought they doubled it fairly nice, where the angle they used and how quick it is that it did not take me out of the scene. And still a pretty cool kick. So not only does he hang the guy after kicking him, but blows him the fuck up into pieces. I fucking love it. And now we're going to get to our crazy finale. I mean, how we're... With the credits, like 14 minutes left? So with the credits, probably like 10 minutes left. I mean, this has been a breeze to sit through. I mean, I'm surprised we're almost at the end here, to be honest. Surrounding them's out. Hell of a time for jokes, John. Hell of a time for humor, John. Another one of my favorite lines, simple but to the point, coming up here. What do you say? Fuck 'em. And shoots a grenade launcher, blows up a fucking truck. I mean, I love it. Fucking badass. Fuck 'em. Like, God, they don't make movies like this because this is labeled as so shitty for some reason. Not fucking Captain Marvel, which critics fucking love. Not Black Panther with this PS3 video games in its final fight. A Black Panther versus Evil Panther, or not fucking Avengers movies, or Batman v Superman. Even some critics love that more than this movie. Not fucking Wonder Woman, not fucking... Hell, credits... I think even credits like Iron Man 3 and Ghostbusters 2016 and... Go fucking figure though. Aquaman. Sorry, I'd rather watch this than fucking Aquaman. Hated Aquaman. But I guess just me and my different tastes. It's cool if you like them. I'm just more into this stuff. Yeah, real tanks, real helicopters. This is an all-out fucking war. Look at that. I mean, these bad states with just so many people left and right. They staged a fucking war here. Like, look at all this military. And Rambo gets on it. There's another big fucking machine gun. A couple of nice usages of slow-mo there. I'm just smiling and sad because they'll never do stuff like this. That's why I look at the G.I. Joe movies. I'm like, those are a joke. Rise of Cobra or Retaliation with The Rock. I'd rather just go watch this movie. This one scene is better than those two G.I. Joe films put together in their entirety. Like, look at this. The Rock never did anything like this. Molotov cocktail, riding a horse full speed, explosions everywhere. Okay, it was the scene near the beginning where he had the helicopter on his ass, but here, Molotov cocktail, riding full force, explosions everywhere. Christopher Reeve got paralyzed in much less drastic circumstances. And on top of that, fuck it, I'm gonna keep my Molotov cocktail and I'm gonna fuck up this tank right here. And hey, in the second film, he flew a helicopter. Now he's going to drive a tank. Which is stuff he explained at the end of First Blood. But I could fly a helicopter. I could drive a tank. Here I can't even keep a job. Park your cars. But hey, the second film, he got to fly a helicopter. He got to fly one again here briefly, and then gets to drive a tank. What the fuck did he do Rambo Last Blood except get his ass kicked? And then healed? And then listened to music from the fucking Doors. I mean... Look at that, a real tank and a real helicopter playing fucking chicken with each other. See, even Rambo's missing. So people are like, oh, he always hits. He's missing with some of the missiles and the, well, I should say the cannons, the shells. But see, even Rambo's missing. Oh, Rambo never misses. Yeah, he does. I'm gonna jam this tank straight up your fucking ass. Drago! Nice explosion. Badass. Rambo 3 sucks. Bullshit my dick. To quote Richard Pryor. Bullshit my dick. If you don't like Rambo 3, teach their own. I will just never understand it. And this is where I guess I'm one of those guys that has my own taste in movies, and I look at films like this and I go, I don't get it. I don't get why people hate on it so much. I don't get why it flopped so badly. Oh, the rush. But at the end of the day, why would that matter? If we can still watch World War II films, even though we have no problems with Japan, if we can still watch films of various nationalities being bad guys, I mean, would that really matter to an audience? They still make movies with various other groups being bad guys. Well, no, now it's all fucking superheroes. Superheroes or Star Wars. Yeah, I thought the kid did fine. He wasn't that he wasn't irritating or annoying. But again, I asked the people when I reviewed Rambo Last Blood. I think one of the reasons I keep harping on that is when I reviewed Rambo Last Blood, the amount of shit I got for that. Granted, it's their opinion; they have a right to it. But how they were so pissed that I loved Rambo 3 so much, but yet I did not like Rambo Last Blood. Unfucking believable. But hey, it's different strokes for different folks. John, hate to say it, but I think we're getting soft. Maybe just a little, sir. Maybe just a little. Because he had the song, He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother. Which I don't think this song's as strong as the song in Rambo 2 or in First Blood. It's a long road. I mean, I don't hate this song. Oh, Victor Armstrong, stunt coordinator. Victor Armstrong, I believe he would go on to direct Army of One, starring Dolph Lundgren, which I reviewed on the channel. That's a fun action movie, Army of One. I believe that was Victor Armstrong. So I'm just going to look at the credits here, see if I recognize anybody. But yeah, as I look at the credits, I love this film. I think it's criminally underrated. I think you still got Jerry Goldsmith's music was pretty damn decent. I miss Jerry Goldsmith. I think it gives you your bang for your buck. Action, explosions, stunts. Stallone doing a lot of it himself, working his ass off, being in the best shape of his life. Shooting, going under tanks, flying helicopters, driving tanks, throwing Molotov cocktails, blowing up helicopters with C4s, arrows, hunting people in caves, using all sorts of heavy gunfire. I mean, I don't get what's so bad about this film. I love this film. My favorite is Rambo 2, but this is close. I mean, I did my favorite action films of all time. It's still on the channel. A series of videos where I said my 100 favorite action films of all time. And this was up there. This is, I think, at least in the top 10, maybe even the top 5. I can't remember. That's how much I love this film. I've seen it multiple times. It doesn't get old for me. But yeah, listen to this song again. This song's not that bad. Let's see. Not recognizing anybody. But I'll watch the credits anyway. Why not? Fuck it. Why not? Fuck it. I've said this before in comment. Bruce Wayne? Wait, the hairstylist was Bruce Wayne? What the fuck? Batman worked on this? Batman was the hairstylist. Bruce Wayne. Shit, hairstylist. The guy's name is Bruce Wayne. Go fucking figure. Holy shit. set decorator Charles Pierce. Well, I know there's Charles B. Pierce who did Legend of Body Creep, but that's not the same. But I was saying, John Carpenter. Oh, this is John Jon, different John Carpenter, transportation coordinator. Now I was saying, a lot of times what I do, well, I haven't done a lot of commentaries, but few times I've done it, if I sat through the credits, a lot of times I go, well, what happened to visual effects cameraman David Stump? You know, I just pick a random person, like, what happened to that person? And what happened to that person? Did they keep working? Did they work in movies? Did they work in other TV shows? Did they retire? Did they quit? A lot of different types of helicopters. Modifications, Puma helicopters, Gazelle helicopters, Bell Jet Ranger helicopters. To all the cavalry division of the reenactors unit. Man, it's thanking Senator Pete Wilson, U.S. State Senate. Wonder why they're thanking that. Yeah. The American Humane Association, Kelly Ryan. Like, what happened to color timer Bob Raring? Or Dolby Stereo consultant David Gray? Read the novel by David Morrell. No, my friend Michael CP told me not to. He told me that's a piece of shit novel. And we're getting to the end. So thanks for listening. Take care. I know this is also Rambo 3 got a lot of video games. There was one for Genesis. There was the arcade game. I don't think they had a Rambo 3 game for Nintendo, which is weird. They had a Rambo game for Nintendo, which sucked ass, but not the other. They didn't have a Rambo 2 or 3 game for Nintendo, which you would think... What do I know? It would work, just do the game like Contra. But have it be a Rambo game. That would, I mean, Nintendo had Contra. Just do that and put Rambo in it. But what do I know? But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.